The Americans are back.
Hi everybody, I am Isla Hinck and this is Michael Huber.
Hello!
We are from Easy Allies and we are so honored to once again have been asked by BAFTA to reveal unto you their best games from their long list.
Yes! We're here to look at the best game category specifically, but you can check out all the lists over at BAFTA.org. And all the games long listed are considered to be the best games of 2024 by BAFTA.
What better, judges are there, really? We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Those guys, yeah. And before you ask, BAFTA's Best Games category only considers full games that are released this year, 2024. So no remakes or DLC in this list. Don't at us. You can add BAFTA, though. All of the games on this list are chosen by game developers and industry professionals, which is super cool. To be specific, this list is in alphabetical order, but they're not ranked or anything. These are all Mommy's favorites.
Yes.
Mommy is BAFTA in this case. Should we look at the list?
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Drum roll, I like it.
We haven't seen this either, so here we go. Ooh, okay, awesome. All right, Animal Well.
Ooh.
What a gem of a game. They came out of the gate swinging with this one. It's full of secrets. It's full of just tight platforming and weirdo little animals. It's scary sometimes.
Yeah.
This game gets freaky, like being chased around by a ghost dog.
Yeah, I think...
Way of the Samurai.
Yeah. One of the best parts about gaming for me is exploration and discovery. And Animal Well is just next level with solving little puzzles here and there and just discovering new areas. So great to
and then
just explore.
solving very big puzzles later on. This is one of those games, one of my favorite things in games, where you beat the game and then you're like, oh, I haven't even seen the game yet. The overarching game is this whole other thing. You gotta rescue a bunch of cats.
I love jumping on bubbles.
Oh my god.
Iconic.
Yeah. And your little guy is so cute. What is it? It's like a little, I don't even know. Anyway, Animal Well, congrats for being the first alphabetically on this list.
Next up is Astro Bot. Ooh. Pure joy.
Distilled into tight controls.
Yes. This is such a celebration of not just PlayStation, but video games in general for me. Finding all of the little bots from all of your favorite games, I mean, that is just such a magical feeling.
Yeah.
It's just nostalgia overload. But then you'll come to levels specifically designed for some of these classic games, and I think those really rise to the occasion and put the cherry on top of this excellent platformer.
Yeah. I love just in the hub world, running around and then calling all the little guys to follow you. They're so cute. This game looks and feels and sounds so premium. It's so well made.
Yeah.
I wish that they could do every property from gaming
ever,
history.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
I know.
But doing it as they have with PlayStation is just so good.
Yeah.
So good. All right. I'll start this one, but then you can
geez.
we both love this next one. Balatro. Okay. So if you like roguelikes or roguelites and poker and ridiculous high numbers, Balatro is for you.
Yeah.
Also, really ludicrously small download sizes. Also good.
The song that in that game is probably one of my favorite songs of the year.
Which is good because you'll hear it a lot.
Yeah, you'll hear it. It never gets old. And I think I'm just blown away by the amount of variety in that game.
Yeah.
Depending on what jokers you receive.
Yeah.
And just every run you do, you can really pick a style, and it's I'm getting these cards now. Let me start building that deck out. Let me start building that strategy out. It's just a game that never gets tiring, never gets old. You can play it for 10 minutes or 5 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So just a delight.
Yeah, it's always devastating when you're working on flushes.
Yeah.
And then it's oh yeah, clubs don't work.
Clubs don't work.
And you're just like, oh,
Yep.
all right, well, that's my whole deck, so I guess I lose.
Put all your eggs in one basket, as they say.
Yeah. Oh, Balatro.
Next up is Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah.
Took the world by storm.
Huge game. Huge.
What a moment. The combat of this game is just so fun, fighting just remedial enemies to these spectacular bosses. I mean, this game has like over 80 bosses, and a lot of them are so awesome. One of my favorite things about this game actually is the progression.
Oh, yeah.
And how from level 1 all the way through this entire game, all the way to the very end, every time you get a skill point, you feel it. It matters.
Feel it, yeah.
All the different gear you find matters, and crafting everything. Just this addiction to this power creep the whole way through was so satisfying.
Yeah, not to mention just getting to like live through this epic, you know, it's based on Journey to the West.
Yeah.
So like getting to live through and play this like, you know, centuries old myth or like story, you know, is so cool.
Yeah, just all the cutscenes and their little twists on it. And just, every time you beat a boss, you like get to read about their story and how they relate to it.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Next up is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. This one, I even got in on this one. Like I haven't played a COD in a minute, and this one is so good.
Yeah.
I jumped in.
Nice.
Zombies is sick.
Yes.
And this game is like 3 games in one.
I know, and then you count Warzone 2, it's like 4 games. People joke about Game Pass, it's an incredible value.
It is.
And I'm like, yo, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is an incredible value.
Yeah.
There's so much here. The campaign is absolutely one of the best in class. Just the variety of those missions I love. I love when Call of Duty really leans into Mission Impossible vibes.
Yeah.
Instead of just, war guns blazing, it's like, yo, let's sneak around a casino and infiltrate.
This campaign goes places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course just the multiplayer is so good. The new movement, diving around like you're Max Payne. Exactly. Yeah. Launching with that many new maps. I think there were like 16 new maps at launch. Like you said, zombies this year. The onboarding I thought was a big improvement.
Yeah.
Just absolutely one of the best Call of Duties in franchise history, which is saying something.
Yeah. Also took the world by storm. This next one, Helldivers 2, dude.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
Different franchise.
Yeah, close enough. What did they say? Like, taste the democracy or something?
Yeah.
God.
Helldivers 2, just exploding bugs?
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the best things?
There's nothing better.
Yeah, with your buddies, you're just like in the trenches and you're just getting swarmed by bugs.
Are bugs the best video game enemy?
It's gotta be
It's up there.
Yeah.
Crabs and bugs.
Yeah, giant
Crabs
enemy
are the bugs of the sea.
Yes.
Yeah.
The co-op in this game. I'm just such a sucker for co-op. And I think grouping up with randoms or your best buds is equally as fun in Helldivers.
Yeah, and like doing the operations or whatever, where you do the like up, down, left, right.
Yeah. The stratagems.
Stratagem. There it is. I'm like, what word is it? Stratagem. It feels so. It's such a genius little addition because in the heat of battle, when you're like trying to type in a stratagem correctly, you screw it up every time.
And I've killed my team with those so many times.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2, dude.
It's brutal.
Oh my god. Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom.
Zelda. Finally. You get to play as her.
Yeah. It finally happened.
It took a long time.
It took a minute.
But here we are.
I'm sure that like Damiani would say like,
Sheik
on
and
the
stuff.
CDI and then Sheik, you play Zelda, whatever. This Zelda gets her own game, by and large, and she fights in her own kind of interesting way.
Yeah.
Instead of straight up just sword and board.
This is a game where you stack beds to progress.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's like strategy combat.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Totally.
And that fits so much for the character too.
Yeah.
And it looks good. Like the vibe of this game, I like the graphic style of this.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And anytime you get to revisit Hyrule, I mean, it's like coming home, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is one of gaming's greatest worlds
one of the
ever.
best in the biz, for sure.
Yeah, so any year with a new Zelda, going to Hyrule, good year.
Up next, from a long line of legendary devs,
Yeah.
Metaphor ReFantazio.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, the Persona team, we're talking about one of the best in the absolute biz.
Yeah.
And making a new IP is always so exciting, especially for, you know, a legendary game studio and one that is so closely tied to an existing franchise, Persona in this case. So for them to go out and do a brand new IP, that by itself is so exciting. And then, of course, they delivered, you know, one of the best games of the year. Just style, vibes, characters of this game.
Yeah, the bonds and the, like, you know, they didn't throw away everything they're great at, you know, so you still have your gathering, you know, your little crew of weirdos, but like this game, it looks great. The bonds, you know, it's wonderful. And the music, like, what a swing, like, what is it? It's like chants in Esperanto. Like, whoa. That is next level stuff. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, best music categories this year are going to be popping off.
For sure.
With all of these great soundtracks this year, too. All right, you loved the next one.
I know!
And it's appropriate for the BAFTAs.
Yes! Thank goodness you're here! I am an American. And
really?
So some of this game, obviously, admittedly, was over my head.
Yeah.
But I just love, you know, games for me are so many different things, but it's also a window into other, you know, people's lives and countries and cultures and everything. So Thank Goodness You're Here was like such a little delightful game.
Yeah.
And I just loved like going around slapping people. You're just little guy, you just slap them. But everybody wants your help in that game, so it's like you feel like you're getting used by this town, but also it's like in my nature to want to help everybody out. So yeah, it was just.
And the humor of this game is just so on point. Like, you know, I tend toward British kind of humor. I have a pretty, you know, dry kind of sense of humor as well. And so, like, this is right up my alley, too. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Dude.
Hardcore.
This is a hard game.
It's hard.
Although when we played it on stream, you put it on like extra hard.
I did crank it up.
And we were like, maybe don't. Talk about like waves of enemies.
Yeah.
Freakos just coming in from the gills.
It's such a feel-good story, not the...
What? Warhammer 40K has never told a feel-good story.
A feel-good story
ever.
Behind the scenes, because Space Marine 1 was kind of a cult classic for, you know, Warhammer is obviously huge.
Yeah.
But Space Marine 1 was so long ago. So for us to get a direct sequel this year, I thought was so exciting. And yeah, the different modes as well. Like the single-player campaign, the co-op missions. I really love the separate missions where you could like choose a different class. But then a really cool death match in this as well that I wasn't expecting. So another one like where it's like Call of Duty, where it's like, all right, there's so many different ways to play this game, which I really appreciated. And of course, you know, the chainsaw blade just cutting people in half. I mean, this is a brutal, graphic, dark video game. But it just has so much weight and chunkiness to it. Definitely hard hitting.
Yeah, for sure. And that's that. That's the best games list.
Good variety.
Excellent list. The best of the best of the best.
Yes.
And again, this is part of a larger, longer list. Call it long list, coincidentally.
Yeah. Longer list.
A longer list that BAFTA has for all of the games that are eligible to become nominees. And you can check that list out at BAFTA.org. And be sure to follow at BAFTA Games on X to find out which games go on to form the nominations of the 2025 BAFTA Games Awards.
Yes, and nominees are revealed on the 4th of March, with winners being declared on the 8th of April. So you got time to catch up if you haven't played some of these games.
I love that.
Yeah.
A friendly time window.
Yes.
To catch up on the previous entire year of excellent games.
Aren't I always yelling about we should have goatees way later? The BAFTAs do it right.
Yes.
Love this.
And so do we, by the way. We're easy allies. Again, this has been such an honor. Thank you to BAFTA for having us once again. We love doing this. This is Michael Huber. I'm Isla Hinck. Find us on socials as well. But yeah, thank you again. We're so excited to replay a lot of these games and look at that long list and see if there's anything we missed. I'd be surprised, but you never know.
There's always some stragglers.
There's always some in there. Yeah. All right. Well, have a good one.
Thank you.
All right.